he was looking nowhere and he was going. The king prostrated before him and asked him, Kuto buddhiryam brahmanem akartuhu sivisharadam yama sadya mayan lokam vidvamscharati balavati. Oh, the great Mahatma, you have reached a stage where you are a non-doer. You know pretty well, I do nothing. Everything is done at the cosmic level. So you are an akarta. And being so, where from you got the impulse to do all this work? You are going here, there. You are just going like a young child. A young child, it goes from here to there to here. No purpose it has got. Sometimes it will go very quickly, as if there is an appointment to be kept. But it will do nothing. So just like that you are doing. Where from you got this type of impulse? Prayo dharmartha kameshu vissāyānca manavāṁ hetu naiva samihante ayusho esashriyam. Normally, people lead their lives for three purposes. Either they get an idea, they should do some charity, build their orphanage, build a temple. So that is dharma. Or they are motivated by earning a lot of wealth, like that is artha. Or he has already got a lot of money, then what does he want? He wants to enjoy. Hey, I want a giant size refrigerator at my house. I want a giant size TV. Just to enjoy. Hey, I don't want only this one AC. My room should be centrally heated, centrally air conditioned. Like that. Entire house be air conditioned. Tantakalpa kavirdaksha sabhago amrta bhashnam nakarta negase kinchite jada unmatta pisachavati. Even though, see, you have got all the good qualities. You are the wisest. You are going all alone. You are very lucky. And when you talk, it is the nectar which is falling out, not even honey. The great nectar is falling out. Amrita Bhashana. Nakatta anekase kinchiti jada unmatta visachavati. You don't do anything at all. You don't consider that I do this, that I am that doer that doesn't have it all. Things are being done on you. You are not even aware as to what you are doing and what you are not doing. You are somewhere, you are behaving that as if you are a dull man. Absolutely dull. Jada. Or somewhere you are behaving as if you are mad. You are a madcap. So Jada, Unmatta, then Pishachavati. Somewhere when somebody comes, just like a ghost, you say, bah! And all that. The fellow goes. Yes, Swami Nityananda was very famous. Even today, after so many years, his photo is there in every dukan in Bombay side. He is there. And when he was there in Vajreshwari, that is near the spring, the hot water spring, about 18 kilometers from Bombay, he was inside the cave. If anybody goes, to some people say, hey, if you come inside, I will pelt you with a big rock stone. He used to keep a lot of stones. Or when somebody comes, you say that fellow, it is already a cave and it is dark. And when it does like that, the fellow will run away. And what happened was, there is an engineer. He was a great sadhaka. He was going in. Hey, if you come further, I will pelt this big stone and I will break your knees. Ah, thank you very much. Swamiji, whatever you do, it will be a Ashirvada for me. He went further in. He took a big stone and put it. He broke his knee. But after 3 months, when he was sitting, he couldn't even keep his foot in. He was keeping like that. He went to Samadhi for one whole day. He said, if I had known, I would have got my other knee also broken. It is an Ashirvada. But who had the guts to say, yes, you do what you like. After all, you are not an enemy. How can he ever harm you? He cannot. He may harm your body, but he will do good to your soul. Janeshu dekhyamaneshu kamalobhadamagrinanam natapyasya grinamukta gambasivadvipahan. Here, the people are all burning with the heat of kama, lust, lobha, greed for more money, more things, and like that. And among them all, you look like an elephant which is getting cool in the waters of the Ganges. Ah. How is it? Please tell me the secret behind it. Tambena prachadam brahmanin atmanjananda karanam bruhit prashavivenasya bhavataha kevalatmanah sparsha vihinasya. What happens is normally you get happy, say, when you get the touch of any vibrations of beauty, vibrations of delicious items. You are getting the smell, masala dosha, so like that. But here, sparsha viyanasya, nothing ever touches you, nothing can ever touch you, and still you are so happy inside. How is it? What makes you happy? Without any reason whatsoever. Santino guramo rajanne bhagavo buddhyupadhinam edo buddhimupadaya muktohamiti tanchanu. O King, I learnt a lot from this world. From nature, I selected my 24 gurus and I learned from each one of them something as to how to live happily. And that's why I'm very happy. So, who are those 24 teachers, the 24 gurus? Prithvi, Vayu, Rakasham, Apo, Agnis, Chandrama, Divi. These are all my gurus. I learnt a lot from this earth, from this bhumi. Prithvi, Vayuhu, I learnt a lot from the wind which is going. Akasha, from the space, I learnt a lot. Apaha, from the water I learnt. Agni, from fire I learnt. Chandrama, from the moon. Ravihi, from the sun. Kapota, there is some pigeon, I learnt from it. When you didn't learn anything, you only took a photo. Yes, I will show. Then Ajagaraha, there is a python, Malapambe. Sindhu, I learned from the ocean. Patangaha, the moth, which comes at night and lives its life in the lights. Then Madhukrit, the one who makes the honey. Then Gajaha, then from the elephant. Harinaha, from the deer. From Minaha, from the fish. Pingala, there was a prostitute called Pingala. I say, sit down, he say, what are you doing? Either you like or get out, go there. If you want to go, go there. Don't be. So, Pingala was a prostitute, and I learnt a lot from her. Then, Adbhaka, from a child, Kumari, from an unmarried girl, Sharakriti, the arrowsmith who was doing the arrows. Then Sarpa, from a normal serpent, Urnanabhi, from this spider. Then from all these things, Yete me gurve rajanni chadurvim chadrashata shiksha vritti bhire tesham anma shiksha atmanaham. These are the gurus, 24. And from them I take the lesson. I took the lesson how from the way by which they live, they are there. I took a lesson from them. They didn't come and tell me, come here, I give you this lesson. Just I saw how they were running, how they were moving, how they were conducting themselves, and from there I learnt. Anvashiksham yahatmanaham yato etam shikshami etamanushatmane tattada purusham vyagre nibodhikatyamite. How I learnt, I am now telling you. Bodhairakramnamanopi Dhiro Devashanugihi Tad Vidwan Nachalen Margatvim Anvashiksham Shitervritam. Now you see, this earth is there and millions are running on it. Somebody with a booted foot, somebody with an artificial limb made of wood or made of some iron or some metal, and all these things always we are hitting at it, and it doesn't, it remains unmoved. It doesn't say, hi, what can I do? All the people are going over me. It never shouts. It is just keeping quiet. Tadvidvan nachalayan margatim. And then, how this happens? Daivavashate. It is the Lord's will that the earth should be subject to all such hits and kicks from all people. So in the same thing, I learned, a wise man, whatever path he is going to get the Lord, at no time he should say, no, it is too much for me, oh, it is very difficult for me, it is a torture, I don't want to, better leave it. No, I have to hold to it. Just as patiently the earth is bearing us all, in the same way, I have to be patient, I have to bear all the tortures, but continue in the same way. So, when once you have started, don't stop it in the middle. You have stopped doing meditation, after 20 days don't say, it is a bore yar. Don't leave it. That's all. Shashat parartha sarveha pararthekanta sambhava sadhu shiksheta bhupartha nagashishya paratpatam. See, the entire mountain, it has got so much of greenery, it attracts the rains for all of you. It is of no use to it. So, it only wants to do some good to all. It is not bothered with itself. It is the most selfless thing. From there I learned to be selfless. Vishye Swami Sanyogi Nana Dharmed Sarvada Gunadosham Vyapeta Atma Navishajeta Vayuvatim. You see, the wind is going on. It goes through meat kept in the butcher's shop. You have got in your house so much of hing, asafetoda, you are keeping it. It goes through that. It is never affected by them. It carries on with its own. It does not permanently absorb the heat. It does not permanently absorb the scent which you have got at your home. That's all. It just takes, it leaves. It goes, it goes, it goes. Absolutely unaffected, absolutely untainted by any of the things which it comes across. In the same way, I know that I have to go through so many things with all types of doshas, with all types of defects, but I should not imbibe their intrinsic qualities. That's all. It comes and goes. Shake off and you remain the same. Don't absorb anything from anybody else. Antarhitascha sthira jangameshu brahmatva bhavena samanvayena vyapya avachedam asangamatmanah mulinnavastum mitadasya bhavyeti. See, the sky or the space, you cannot see. You cannot say this is space. You cannot catch hold of it and show it to somebody. It is more or less hidden. It is before you, but you can't see it properly. You cannot say this is dark, this is white, this is space. You cannot say. That comes. So, where was it? Antarhitascha sthira jangameshu. So, similarly, the divine power, it is there. You cannot see it, but it is all in all movable objects, in all immovable objects. Everywhere it is full. It is there in the sand. It is there in the tree. It is there in the tiger. It is there in you. Everywhere that divine power has been distributed. But it is inside. You cannot see. So,
Jangameshu nudizhidu.
Jangameshu. Murirnabastam vitatasya vitatasya bhaviyati. And it is everywhere spreading. In between it never gets cut. Can you say the space has been cut? It doesn't get cut. Similarly, you go everywhere, the divine power goes everywhere. It doesn't get cut. It is there, but you have to find it out. Asangamatmanaha marinnavastam vitadasya bhaviyet. So from that, one should learn this. Swachchaha prakritta sriddha madhuryaha tirthabhurnanam munipuratyapam mitram ishopasparshikirtani. By nature, it is absolutely pure. So the impurity in the water comes by the muck which you throw. That's all. You are running a dyeing factory and all the colors you put in that, you are spoiling it. But originally, by nature, it is absolutely pure. Water is most pure. Similarly, you learn purity from it. Tejasvi, Snigdha, Madhurya, Snigdha. See, the entire water is one. It doesn't in between cut anywhere at all. So, it sticks to you. You take it, your hand becomes wet. Similarly, we should love all. It loves all. That's why it sticks to you. So love all. Snigdha, Madhurya. It is so sweet. Be sweet to all. That's all. This is what I learned from the tirthas, from the various sacred waters and all that. Tejasvi tapasa deepta taddarshodara bhajanam sarvabhaksho viyukta atma na datte manamagnivati. See, have you seen the fire? Tejasvi, how brilliantly it is burning. It is all Deeptaha. It is shining. So Tejasvi, Deeptaha, Tapasa Deeptaha. Then Durdharsha, Udara Bhajana, and it doesn't go and get any vessels. I want a new cooker, I want a bigger cooker. Its stomach is itself, it is there. Its stomach itself is the patra. In that you put everything, Sarvabhaksha, it eats all. The fire, Sarvabhaksha. Tapasadipta, Sarvabhakshopi Yuktatma. Even though it eats everything, all the muck, does it get ever impure? Similarly, you live among the world, but let not the world sully you. Let not the world taint you even the least. Unsullied, untainted. Then, Kujit Channaha, Kujit Sprtaha, Upasyaha Sri Chatam. Never show yourself that I am a great bhakta. So, in many places, you have to hide yourself. Don't show it all. If somebody says, we are going with it, okay, go man, I am not interested. You are very much interested, but don't show it. Kujit Channaha. And the fire, when it is in the form of live coals, you don't see the fire coming out, but the fire is there. Somewhere it is hidden, somewhere it is seen. So before other bhaktas, it also gets. When they weep, I also weep. That is there. So that is what happens. Somewhere open, somewhere hidden. Then Bhungte Sarvatra Dhadurinam Darantra Uttarashibam Sumaya Suktasidam Visargadya Smashananta Bhavadi Saratmana Kalanam Vachandasya Kalena Abhyaktavatmanam. See, in the body, so many things happen. From the day we are born till the day we go to the cremation. That's all. But just like Chandra Kala, the Chandra remains the same. Similarly, remain the same. These bhavas of the body, they come and go, so they should not affect you at all. Now, Nati sneham prasangovam kartavyaha kwapi kenachati kurban vindeta santapam kapoti vadina dhihi. Now he is going to give the example of a pigeon. Just like the pigeon who is absolutely helpless like and weeps, is going to tell the story. Now, Ati Sneha, like that, don't make too much attachment to anybody in your family. Be attached. The child comes, oh beta, it goes, you don't even remember the name of the child. That's all. At that time it looks as if you have been with the child for the past 25 years. That's all. But the moment it goes away, you forget the name. You ask, the child, was it known to you? Which child? That's all. Nadi say agartavya. Do not make, it doesn't say don't have any attachment. Have a little, but don't have too much of it. That's all. anybody, do not ever have too much of an attachment. Then if you do, well, you will be subject to sorrows. You will be subject to sufferings. And now the story he says, Kapotaha kaschanaranye kritanido vanaspatu kapotya bharya sardam vasakachit samaham. Once there is a pigeon couple, both husband and wife, in a forest. They made their own nest and they were living there beautifully. In a tree they made and they were there. For a number of years they were living there. Kapotu sneha gunita hridiyo grihadharmino drishtim drishtya angamangene buddhim buddhyamavandatu. Their heart was completely governed by mutual love towards each other, and it was too much of a love. Grihadharmino, they were all like you and I. They were just doing the housewife business. That's all. They were running their house. Drishtim drishyam, and each one bound the other. It will look at it with a loving eye. The other will also look at it. Thus, each other they bound by their eyes. Drishtim drishtya. Angamangena. They embraced the other one embraced it. Thus, by the body. Angamangena. Buddhim buddhya. And whatever he thought of, don't you think? Yesterday we went there and we got a lot of food. We should go there. I was just thinking, that's a very good place. So, whatever she thought, the other one thinks. So, with your buddhi, you are binding the other's buddhi. And it's mutual. Buddhim buddhya bhavandatu shayyam. They were together taking their bed at night. They were together sitting at one place. Asana, atana. They were together going for a walk. Then varta. They were together, they were conversing to each other. They never called another pigeon and talked. No, there was no time for anybody else. They were talking to each other. Krida, they were playing with each other. Like that. Mithunu bhaya visrabdhu cheratur vanarajeshu. Thus, as a couple, both joining together, they were not knowing of anything else, and they were enjoying, and they were going here and there. Yam yam vanchilsa rajanni tarpayantan kampitam tam tam samaniyat kamam krishena pechitendriyam. Whatever she wanted, she will go and immediately get it. See, the kapoti or this she pigeon, it is only an example. She exactly says what happens in a house. That is all. If she says, the Deepavali is coming, so get me a Purnima silk house, sell this thing. She will all the way go to, by air, go to Bangalore, purchase it and bring it for her. Tamtam samani. Why? Ajitendriya. They have not had a control over their senses. So whatever their senses dictated, they are prepared to be slave. Kapoti prathamam garbham grinhati kalam agade andan zrivenide sapatyu sannidhavasiti. When that time came, she had her first pregnancy. First pregnancy is most important. First time. It becomes very anxious at that time. So, andan zrivenide. So, in front of her husband, she laid the first eggs. What a happiness.
Teshu Kali Vijayinte, Vechita Vaivari, Abjavi, Komalangatu. During the course of time, those small fledglings, they became bigger, and they were still having very delicate bodies. Very delicate bodies. That's what we say. ஐயோ இங்க குழந்தை பூஞ்ச அது பாவம் ஒண்ணு சாப்பிட மாட்டேங்கிறது. Same thing. प्रजापुरुषतु प्रीतौ दंपति पुत्रवत्सलौ शृण्वन्ति कुचितं दासं निर्वृतो कलभाषितैः. Or they loved their children like anything, and they were so happy with them, and whenever it made a sound, they enjoyed its conversation, they enjoyed its cuckooing. Tasam padate susparshehi pratyudgarbhai nadinanam pitarumadamapatu. So they were very happy with their children. Whatever they did, நம்ம குழந்தை பத்தல நடக்கிறது, தத்தி தத்தி நடக்கிறது பத்தல, ஆமாண்டி அவ்வளவுதான், அப்படியே ஹெவன்ஸ். வியாசர் அவருக்கு உலகம் பூரா தெரிஞ்சிருப்பாரு, கல்யாணம் பண்ணிக்கல, அவர் எல்லாம் தெரிஞ்சிருக்கேன். विमोहितो धीनदियो शिशु प्रजाहं स्नेहानुबद्ध हृदयो. They were all fully bound by love towards each other, and the Lord's Maya has spread over them all, and because of which they were completely deluded to the core, and they were rearing their children. Ekada jikvatustasam annattam to kudumbino haritakkarne tasminne archino cheraduschiram. Once it so happened, these couple, they left their children at home and they went outside in order to bring them some food. Annartham, to get food. And for a long time they were going here and there in order to collect food. They were not easily available, so they had to go a long distance and then collect from here and there. Drashtvatan lubhatu lubdhaka kasyate drichado vanicharam jagrike jalamasatye charatatswaliyantikim. This one fellow, he saw, he was a hunter. One hunter one day saw, oh my Lord, such a beautiful and well-nourished pigeons. They can come for breakfast for 5 people. So nice. So what he did was, he spread the net on the paths of them there. Drishtvataan lubdha kapotisya kapotisya prajaposhisosiko gado poshnamadaye swanidopajagmatu. In the meantime, those who had gone outside, they brought the food and they came back to the tree. Kapoti swatvajan vishe balakan jala samvrtani tan abhyatavat kroshanti kroshato sukhadukhitaham. Suddenly, first the mother pigeon saw, oh my Lord, my children are already have fallen inside the net. Oh, and they were crying. On hearing that crying, she began to cry. The mother pigeon began to cry. She went near them. Absolutely, she was overcome by sorrow. Sansakrit Sneha Gunitam, Dena Chitta Jamayam, Swadincha Buddhita Shicha, Badhan Pasyan Tapasprati. She lost all her memory, all her power of thinking. The moment she saw, she went near them and she got caught by the same net. It is the she pigeon. And now, Aho me pachyatapayim alpa punyasta durmatehim kapotasya atmajan baddhani atmanom padigan priyani bharyancha atmasamam dinaham vilalapati dukhitam. Now, that she pigeon, on seeing, oh, my sons have already been involved in the net, and how were the children? They were dearer than his own self, than his own body. He is prepared to die, but not, I will not allow them to die. So, and then he saw his wife. She is also there. And how is she? Atma Samam. She is no less. She is as good as my own life force, my own life. And it began to cry. Aho me pachyatapayim alpa punyadharmate. See, my punya is so small, so I have fallen into all these troubles. See my bad luck. Atriptasya akritasya grihasthaivatkyo hatam. I have not yet enjoyed all my life. I have just enjoyed a bit of it. A lot is left. I am not yet satisfied. Atriptasya akritasya. I have not done what all I have to do in this life. I have not yet started even. And all my three motives are lost. The three motives are dharma, artha, kama. So now I can't do anything. Well, all these people are here. How can I do all these things? Your wife is required for doing dharma. When you have to do, say, Agnihotra every day, the worshipping the fire god, the wife has to be by his side. If the wife dies, he is no longer entitled to do it. That's there. So wife is necessary, even for doing dharma. And as far as earning the wealth, well, she is also a computer engineer. She earns as much as I am. Now she will not be able to do it. So she has lost that much of wealth. Then kama, enjoyment. Where is the enjoyment when my wife is in trouble, my children have been caught by the net? The question of my enjoyment doesn't arise. So all my Trivirgika, the three motives of life, have been annihilated in toto. Anurupanukanache yasyame paridevata shunya grihe mam santijya putra suryati sadhri. Oh, my wife has left me in this shunya griha. The house is void. There is nobody else. What will I do all alone? Living in this house now. And along with my sons, she is going. Mritadaro, Mritaprajaham. And if she goes away, so with a wife dead, with all the children dead, in this empty house, I'll be all alone. What is the fun? Nijivishekimatham va vidhuro dukkha jivita, being a widower. For whom I have to live? For whom I have to earn? For whom I have to go and bring food now? There is nobody at all. Tam sateva vrtan chikbhi mrityukistam chitta swayancha kripana shikshu pasyanyap abdho patati. He says, now there is no meaning. On seeing his son who had been caught by death, he also went and intentionally he got himself caught in the same net along with his wife and sons. Evam kutumbai kutumbya shantatma dvarama patrivati ushtan kutumbam gripana sanubandho siddhi. This is how a man with a parivar, a man with a family, his mind is never tripta, his mind is always agitated, is never calm. Then Dundva Ramaha, he likes to be between heat and cold. He likes to be between Sukha and Dukkha. He likes both. He likes to suffer also. Then thus, this is how such a person, by going on looking after his family only, one day he will suffer, man. Vyasa says. Yaprapi manusham lokam mutidvaram apavatam griyeshu kagvasakta tam arudachyutam vidu. See, only as a human being you can strive for getting the Lord. This is the door for your liberation. Mukti Dwara. And it has been kept open. The moment you take your birth in this earth, now you are very near to the Lord. You have to do very little. You cannot do anything in any other lifetime. As a tiger you cannot do any sadhana. As a dog you cannot do any sadhana. Only a man can do it. And having come so near to it, well, you are losing all that. Hence, O king, this sukha which comes from senses, by eyes, seeing your wife, by ears, which are hearing the nice conversation of the children, all these things, dehinam ittata dukkam tasman neche tadmadabudam. For all human beings, it gives only dukkha. Dukkha and dukkha alone. Leave it all. Don't go after these senses. So, don't aspire for it. Then, so this is what you learn from a pigeon. Have you learnt? You have got a pigeon. And
you have got and you have got.
Photos are
Abir has only taken photos of them talking so nice to and Ishwar. Exactly this, whatever he has described, that's what is there. You see, the second is the python. The python never goes in search of food. It is so big, it is just staying at one place. And staying at that one place, grasam samrishtam virasam mahantam stokamevam. Whether it gets this much, whether it gets this big, it may get a big deer or a lamb, it may get a smaller one, but whatever it gets, whether small or big, less or more, whatever that comes automatically by the Lord's will, well, it just takes it. Otherwise, it is actionless. It doesn't move anywhere. Shaitahani bhutini niraharo nupakramaha. Then, for days together, if no food ever comes, it is just lying, just watching what comes near. That's all. But it doesn't move. So in the same way, you, like this big python, you be there, you don't go after them. Whatever that comes on the way, you take it. This is what I learnt from that. Munihi prasanna gambhiro durvigakyo duratyaham anantaparo kshetrobhya simito devarnavaham. See, a big ocean, just imagine when all its water becomes absolutely momentless. There is no movement. They have all stagnated. Then you will find prasanna gambhira. It is very deep and it looks very pleasant like. You would like to go and do your bath again and again. Prasanna gambhira. Durvigakyo. You cannot cross it completely at all. It is so big. Durvigakya, duratya. You cannot cross it so easily. Anantaparaha. Has it got any boundaries? Can you say this has got boundary over there? It is just infinite. Boundaryless, wall-less. There is no wall. There is no boundary. There is absolutely no limitation. Simito Devarnava. Just like that ocean. Remain like that. Samriddhakama hinovam Narayana Paromani Notsarpeda Nashukshyate Saridhiriva Sagaraham. The ocean, when the big rains and all that come, it doesn't immediately go into floods and flood us all. It absorbs it. When the winter, when the summer comes, when all it gets completely dry like, still the, have you seen that ocean has become one day waterless? No. Still it is there. So it absorbs excess water, doesn't bother about less water, it remains always the same. Remain like that, that whether good comes, whether bad comes, don't immediately, when the bad thing comes, don't immediately become like a flower of day for yesterday. Completely like this. And when something good comes, Hotel Nadraj. Don't do either way. They say, the Bhagavan Sri Rama was told the previous day, Ram, I am going to anoint you as the prince. Tomorrow your coronation will take place. Thank you. If you and I were there, even for passing a BA in third class, you take all your friends, take some 10,000 rupees from your father, go and you spend it. And here is a person where you are told you are getting a kingdom. He never bothered. He never bothered. That's all. And within 24 hours it was changed. His father went and told, my dear boy, I am very sorry I gave you a wrong hope. You are not being anointed. Oh. Not that alone. You had to go for 14 years to the forest. Banished to the forest. And Mukhambaja Sri Raghunandanasya, that Bhagavan's, that face, it didn't shrink. The moment he said, you are not, I am not, I have to go 14 years. No, not at all. It remains the same. Mukhambaja Sri Raghunandanasya, that particular shobha of the Lord's face, which never shrank when it was told you had to go for 14 years, which never swelled with happiness when it was told that tomorrow you are going to be anointed as the Prince of Ayodhya. Neither way. It should be like that. So, samriddhakamo khinova, whether you have got a lot of wealth, whether you are poor, whether you are rich, always think of Narayana. Think of the Lord. Narayana Paromani. Notsarpeda Nashukshyate. Don't swell, don't become absolutely dry like neither. That's all. Always keep the same mien, the same face.